I missed you.
Yeah, you don't even remember my face.
Today, we're going to talk about an American fictional drama, Materialists, which brings face to face two of the biggest aspects of human life, love and money. The film shows how human ambitions and material comforts sometimes outweigh true relationships and genuine love. The story of the film revolves around a woman named Lucy. Lucy is a successful matchmaker by profession, meaning she helps people find their partners. She is hardworking and ambitious, but her ambitions are so great that she sacrifices her love for them and sets out in search of a partner who can fulfill all her desires. The story begins in the Stone Age, where a caveman brings flowers for his partner. He expresses his love by placing a ring made of flowers on her hand. The two love each other without any conditions. This is true love, beyond materialism, a bond of affection and simplicity. But with time, the meaning of love has changed, its essence has shifted. Now in the 21st century, where capitalists have turned even love into a product, love has become nothing more than a checklist. Height, weight, age, income, social status. Everything is weighed on society's scale. The elders used to say that matches are made in heaven, but in today's modern age this responsibility has been taken over by dating apps and multinational companies, who are making huge profits out of it. All you have to do is pay the company and list your requirements, height, weight, age, income, even skin color, and the company will introduce you to exactly the kind of people you asked for. Lucy Mason is an expert in this work, and she works at a dating company called Allure. One day, while on her way to work, she notices a middle-aged man ogling at her. Suddenly, Lucy turns around, hands him her card, and asks if he is single. She tells him that she is a matchmaker, and if he wishes to meet someone, they have plenty of great matches available for him. Lucy arrives to meet her client, Sophie L. Not long ago, Lucy had introduced Sophie to James. For Sophie, it was magical. James seemed like the perfect man. Sure, his income wasn't very high, and yes, he was a little bald, but none of that mattered. She said it was the best date she had ever been on, and with a smile full of hope, she dreamed of moving forward, of seeing James again. But that smile didn't last long. In just a moment, Lucy shattered her expectations. James, the man Sophie had begun to admire, had rejected her. His reason? Sophie, he said, was too old. And a little overweight. What James wanted wasn't companionship, it wasn't love. He wanted a flawless young beauty in her 20s. And just like that, Sophie's excitement, her hope, turned into heartbreak.
Sophie broke down in tears.
Her heart was filled with despair. She only wanted to settle down quickly, to find true love. It felt as if her dreams were falling apart. But in that very moment, Lucy held her and comforted her with gentle words. Sophie, you will surely find the prince of your dreams. Back at the office, the atmosphere is festive. The reason? Lucy's latest triumph. 20 months ago, she had introduced Charlotte and Peter, and today, they're getting married. This is Lucy's 9th successful match. 8 couples before, and now another one. No wonder she is celebrated as the superstar of the company, the shining face of Allure. But while Lucy basks in glory, there's one case that continues to trouble her, Sophie. On paper, Sophie seems perfect. She's educated, earns well, her personality is fine. Yet, there's something missing, something that fails to spark excitement. And because of that, no one wants to meet her. No one wants to take her out on a date. Lucy tells her colleague that she wants to introduce Sophie to Mark P. But the problem is that Sophie doesn't want to meet him at all. The reason? Mark's height is 2 full inches shorter than what Sophie desires. To this, Lucy's colleague smiles and says, that's not a big issue. In today's modern age, even that has a cure: surgery. They cut the leg bones, insert metal rods, and a person can increase their height by as much as 6 inches. But the question is, do people now have to tamper with their bodies and natural structure just to find love? Is that really right? Lucy doesn't care about it. In fact, she supports the idea that if science and surgery can help someone get the body they desire, there's nothing wrong with it. She says that by increasing a person's height by 6 inches, their entire personality could change. It is said that love is the union of 2 souls, where physical structure holds no value. You fall in love with a person's behavior, not with their appearance or clothing. But in the 21st century, everything has changed. Love has changed, and so have its meanings. In the old days, people loved, got married, and stood by each other in struggles for a better life. But modern love is different. Now everyone wants a partner who is already better, whether in social status, economic standing, or physical appearance. Lucy's view is somewhat the same. Either she will marry a rich man, or she will remain single for the rest of her life. In the evening, when Lucy arrived at Charlotte and Peter's wedding, she discovered that Charlotte didn't actually want to go through with it. When Lucy asked the reason, Charlotte kept dodging the question. Finally, on the condition that Lucy wouldn't tell anyone, she revealed the truth. Charlotte said that she didn't want to marry because her sister was envious of Peter, since Peter was more handsome and earned more than her own husband. Charlotte explained that being with Peter gave her the feeling of being a winner. He made her feel special, he increased her value. But deep down, Charlotte feared that these very reasons might one day damage their relationship. Lucy, however, lovingly consoled her, and in the end, Charlotte and Peter tied the knot in the sacred bond of marriage.
Hier, Lucy met Harry, Peters elder brother.
Harry was deeply impressed by Lucy's work and wanted to know more about love, dating, and matchmaking. He asked Lucy what it was like to be a matchmaker. Lucy replied that it's just like working in a morgue or an insurance company. You have to keep track of everything: height, weight, color, income, profession. All of it. Harry asked Lucy, "You must know a lot about love, right?" Lucy smiled and replied, "I know about dating." She then explained to Harry the difference between love and dating. According to Lucy, love is simple. But dating, that's complicated. She said in dating, you can't always tell right from wrong. It comes with pain and with risk. Harry, however, couldn't quite grasp Lucy's perspective. For him, love and dating weren't two separate things. Now, Harry is single, handsome, and wealthy. He could very well be the perfect client for Lucy. So when he asked if she would like something to drink, Lucy said, "Beer and Coke." The very next moment, the waiter placed a beer and a Coke on the table. As if by magic, as if he already knew what Lucy would order. Harry was stunned. When Lucy turned to look, she realized the waiter was none other than her old friend John. Overjoyed, Lucy rushed to hug him tightly. It was clear their friendship had once been very deep. After dinner, Lucy went to meet John. Both of them took drags from their cigarettes, exchanging reassuring glances. John asked Lucy why the bride and groom were considered perfect for each other. Lucy explained that it was because their financial status was the same, they shared the same political views, they grew up in similar environments, and both their families were quite wealthy. John, sounding analytical, replied, "So, to be a perfect soulmate, you need all these things?" "Basically," Lucy said. John took a deep breath and, with a heavy heart, asked, "Then what about a poor, broken family that voted for the right-wing party? Are we soulmates?" Lucy's answer was, "Probably." It turned out that John and Lucy were once in a relationship, both trying their luck in the world of acting. But now Lucy has chosen a different path, while John is still pursuing his career in acting. They talked for quite some time and decided that after the event, John would drop Lucy home in his car. When Lucy returned to the party, Harry asked her to dance. Harry wants to take Lucy out on a date, but Lucy refused, saying that if she dates someone now, it will only be with the intention of marrying him. Harry, who seemed to have fallen for Lucy at first sight, wants to know what kind of man a matchmaker like her would want to marry. Lucy's first and only condition is that he must be rich. After finishing his work, John came to the party searching for Lucy, but what he saw broke his heart. Lucy was standing in Harry's arms. Deep inside, John still loved her, but his financial condition was miserable. He could barely manage his own expenses, then how could he ever fulfill Lucy's expensive tastes?
Later, after the party, John drove Lucy back home.
The car was silent, and that silence said everything. Something was definitely broken between them. At this point, the film takes us into a flashback. We see John and Lucy in the same car, driving through the streets of New York. It was supposed to be their relationship anniversary, but instead of love, the night turned into an argument. The fight was about money. John refused to pay $25 per hour for parking, and he wouldn't even let Lucy pay it. The problem was, they were already running late. Lucy had booked a table at a very expensive restaurant, where if guests arrived more than 15 minutes late, the reservation would be cancelled, and to make it worse, there was a $25 cancellation fine per person. When Lucy explained this, John lost his temper. He snapped, "Why did you even make a reservation at such a rip-off place?" He declared that he would never, under any circumstance, pay for such nonsense. The fight escalated quickly. Lucy was heartbroken. All she wanted was to celebrate their anniversary at a nice place. But in frustration, she opened the car door and stepped out into the middle of the street. John ran after her, trying to calm her down, but it was already too late. Lucy had made up her mind. She chose her own path that night. Because the truth was harsh, love alone wasn't enough. To live, to dream, to build a future, money was necessary. And right there, in that moment, Lucy decided to walk away from John and end their relationship forever. The scene shifts back to the present, where both of them feel embarrassed remembering the incident from the past. A little while later, Lucy's house arrives, and after dropping her off, John heads toward his place. Meanwhile, Lucy's new place is Harry's penthouse. After just a few meetings, their closeness has grown quite a lot. However, What Lucy cannot understand is why a rich, educated, and handsome man like Harry is so interested in her. One evening, in the middle of a conversation, she finally asked Harry, "Why are you so interested in me after all? We're not a match, and we could never get married. You're wealthy, well-educated, and good-looking." Lucy describes Harry as a unicorn in the world of online dating, telling him, "You're perfect, a 10 out of 10. But what I can't understand is, why are you with me?" Harry is a businessman, but more than that, he is a wise and grounded man. He doesn't want a girl with a 20 BMI. What he seeks is someone who understands life and the world, someone with whom he can spend his life and grow old. And he sees all these qualities in Lucy. He explains to her that she is special, and that is the reason he loves her. Meanwhile, John feels stuck in his life, as if everything has come to a standstill. His home is in shambles, used condoms left in the kitchen by his friends, and shaved-off hair scattered in the bathroom. He can't even cry over his own condition. The previous night, he had called Lucy to invite her to his play, but she was at Harry's penthouse instead. When Lucy arrived at the office today, she found out that her client, Sophie L., who had been on a date with Mark P. the previous night, had been harassed. Mark had misbehaved with her. Lucy's boss told her that Sophie was going to file a case against the company. Hearing this made Lucy deeply upset. She wanted to talk to Sophie, but under her boss' instructions, she had to stay away from her. The incident shook Lucy to her core. In the office washroom, she checked her diary where she used to note down people's strengths and flaws for matchmaking. Unfortunately, she realized that she had failed to recognize Mark P.'s true character. Today is John's play. Lucy came along with Harry. The play went quite well, and John's performance was even better. After the play, everyone went to a bar for drinks. John kept asking Lucy several questions about Harry, and his jealousy toward Harry was clearly visible. Lucy said she didn't want to talk about it. Sensing Lucy's unease, John asked her if she was okay, wondering if Harry was the reason behind her trouble. Lucy told John that the real reason for her distress was her work. She admitted that she no longer felt good at her job. For John, dating is not a serious matter. He just sees it as a pastime. In an offhand, dismissive way, he tried to comfort Lucy, saying, "Don't worry, everything will be fine." He belittled her work, telling her that she puts unnecessary pressure on herself. "You're not a drone pilot, nor do you work in some multinational company. It's just dating after all." John's attitude and his shallow view of dating and matchmaking deeply hurt Lucy. Disheartened, she walked away from there. Sophie's incident has left Lucy mentally shaken, and now it's beginning to affect her work. She has grown irritable. The Lucy who once listened patiently to her clients' odd and unreasonable demands, always maintaining her calm and charm, is no longer the same. Her tone and behavior have turned sharp and bitter. Today, she was a little rude with one of her clients, Patricia. Soon after, Lucy was summoned to her boss' cabin. Her boss informed her that Patricia had cancelled her membership and, worse, left an online review calling the company a scammer. Lucy does not regret her behavior toward Patricia, but the incident with Sophie has raised questions about her honesty and dedication to the job. She says, "What we're doing is basically a scam. We promise people love and their ideal partner, but instead we send them on dates with morons and criminals." Boss Violates believes that such risks are simply part of online dating, and that they can't shut down their work just because of a few idiots. The boss tells Lucy to take a few days off, thinking that constant work isn't good for her physical or mental health. The clients Lucy once found so endearing, with their strange conditions and quirky requests that used to excite her, have now begun to disgust her. All she can hear in her heart and mind are Sophie's words. She wants to meet Sophie and apologize, but Sophie neither answers her calls nor replies to her messages. After much effort, Lucy finally learns where Sophie is staying.
The next morning, she waits for Sophie on the street.
After a while, Sophie appears. As soon as she sees Lucy, she tries to run away. She doesn't want to talk to her. But Lucy is not one to give up so easily. She chases Sophie until Sophie has no choice but to stop. Sophie, however, is furious. More than angry, she is deeply disappointed. She tells Lucy, through sobs, that she had considered her more than just a matchmaker, that she had trusted her as a friend.
"I took of you as my friend. I trusted you.
But you handed me over to a drunk, to a criminal, as if I were just merchandise, something to be passed on to anyone, like it didn't even matter." Sophie pours all her hurt and anger out onto Lucy. Lucy has nothing left to say, except an apology. She is speechless. Sophie's words had only deepened Lucy's pain. She was alone at home, not knowing whom to talk to or what to say. She called John and told him everything. John was the only person who could understand her feelings and pain at this moment. He comforted Lucy and gave her courage. One night, Harry asked Lucy about her favorite holiday destination. Lucy mentioned Iceland. Harry had already made the preparations. He was going to take her there. That night, while Harry was in the shower, Lucy's eyes fell on a box kept inside the luggage. When she opened it, she found a ring inside. Harry was planning to propose to her. But Lucy was confused. Harry was the man who could give her everything she had always wanted. Yet, she was questioning herself. Is this really the kind of wealth she desired? She couldn't sleep the entire night. Her gaze kept drifting to the scars on Harry's feet. She caressed them gently, as if she wanted to ask how they had happened. But Harry didn't like Lucy staring at and touching those scars. He wanted to hide them from the world, even from his own partner. Annoyed, he got up and walked into the kitchen. Lucy followed him there. In the kitchen, Harry revealed, 8 years ago, my brother and I had surgery to increase our height. It was a good investment. It changed our lives, especially with women. Back when we were short, girls never paid attention to us. But now, everything is different. For Lucy, this wasn't a big deal. Pointing to her nose and breasts, she said that she too had made investments. She explained that when something affects your confidence, and you have the chance to fix it, there's nothing wrong with doing so. In the course of their conversation, Lucy told Harry that he should go to Iceland alone. She said she didn't think the two of them were a good match. Harry grew upset. He asked, "Is this because of the surgery?" Lucy tried to reassure him, it wasn't about the surgery. She told him that even after knowing about it, she still felt the same way about him as she did before. She said this was about love. She told him, "I don't love you, and you don't love me either. And money can never make up for that absence." Harry, confused, argued that they were a good match and that he could make her life better. Lucy explained that he didn't want to marry her, he only wanted to make a business deal. Harry countered, asking, "Isn't marriage a business deal anyway?" Both of them knew in a way that marriage could be seen as a deal. But for Lucy, love was essential. Without it, the deal meant nothing. Harry was disheartened. He felt cheated. Yet, somewhere deep down, he knew that he didn't truly love Lucy either. To him, Lucy was more like a prize of success, someone he could show to the world to soothe his own pride. After a long conversation, Harry finally admitted that this wasn't love. And with mutual consent, the two decided to part ways. After saying goodbye to Harry, Lucy went to meet John. The truth was, Lucy had rented out her apartment for a week since she was supposed to go to Iceland, and now she had nowhere to stay. John, however, couldn't keep her at his place even if he wanted to. He felt his home wasn't fit for her. His belongings were scattered everywhere, and his roommates lived like complete slobs. So, they decided to spend the week roaming around and staying in hotels. They got into John's car and drove off. John took Lucy to a wedding. He had recently started a catering company, and his firm had gotten the contract for this event. Amidst the buzz of celebration, they found a few moments of peace together.
Lost in the music, Lucy kissed John.
But maybe that kiss wasn't what John wanted, it unsettled him. He walked away, and Lucy followed. John asked her, "Are we getting back together?" Lucy replied softly, "I don't know." Her words left John heartbroken. He didn't want to fall into a relationship with her again, afraid that she'd leave him once more. Deep inside, he felt Lucy was only using him to recover from her breakup with Harry. John knew Lucy was materialistic, yet he still loved her. He confessed, "I ache for you." Lucy knew well that John resented her materialistic nature, but she also knew that there were so many sides of her he adored. She despised John's poverty, yet his goodness was so pure that she couldn't truly love anyone else but him. They loved each other, but perhaps their love still lacked the power of sacrifice. True love is born from sacrifice, when two people give up their own desires, their own luxuries, to nurture their love and make their marriage succeed. Just past midnight, Lucy's phone rang. It was Sophie. Her voice trembled as she told Lucy that a drunken Mark was standing at her doorstep. She had already called the police, but their response was that they couldn't come unless Mark tried to force his way inside. An hour later, Lucy arrived there with John. Sophie explained to them that Mark had left only after she told him Lucy was on her way. Sophie was shaken. Lucy embraced her tightly, promising her that she would make sure Mark faced justice. While keeping watch at Sophie's door, John ended up spending the night on the stairs. Earlier, at the wedding, Lucy had asked him a question. "Even knowing that I'm greedy, materialistic, and boring, how can you still love me?" John's reply was simple, "I don't know. I just do." Then John made Lucy an offer to love her for a lifetime, until his very last breath. Lucy accepted. The film then takes us back to the Stone Age, to the time when two people first fell in love, when the very idea of marriage was born. What must have drawn them together? Was it shared economic standing, political alignment, a similar upbringing, or something deeper? Now John and Lucy are back together. Lucy decides to quit her job, but the company wants to promote her. She says she'll think about it. In the end, John proposes to Lucy with a ring made of flowers. She accepts. The film concludes. And if you liked this story, don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel.